Our next candidate, Kevin Carroll, CCM, CCE.
27 years ago, I attended my very first conference right here in New Orleans. I was a young, somewhat naive assistant manager from the Kansas City area who didn't have a lot of experience, but the owner of the club gave me $1,000 and told me I could attend. Arriving at the airport here, I met up with Philippe Bogarts, a general manager from our chapter. I hardly knew him, but we shared a cab to the hotel. Upon checking in, I was quite surprised to find out that I needed a credit card to check in. I brought cash and expected to pay cash for everything. I didn't even own a credit card. Did I mention I was slightly naive? Well, Philippe heard this, immediately stepped forward and handed his credit card to the desk clerk and told her to put everything on his account. Throughout that week, Philippe treated me to a number of meals here in New Orleans, including lunch one day at Felix's Oyster Bar, where I met several friends of his. One of those was Joseph Auerbach, a past president of CMAA. Being a young man of 24, I was thoroughly impressed with how I was so warmly treated. That entire week, I saw what camaraderie there was between the CMAA membership, and I became determined to get involved. When I returned to Kansas City, I did get involved. First on committees, then on the board, and then eventually was elected president of the Mid-America chapter. My early inspirations were the likes of the great leaders like John Jordan, Meade Grady, Dorothea Bushman, Sally Burns Rambo, Joseph Auerbach, and the list goes on and on. Today, I'm inspired by the many young men and women in our industry who are rising through the ranks of club management. You are the people that drive me to succeed on the board of CMAA. You are the very future of CMAA. If you've read my bio, you know a little bit about my background and my professional career, my 27-year involvement with CMAA. I trained to become a chef at the CIA, was recruited into the profession of club management by my brother Mike. I've been very fortunate to work at a variety of clubs. I worked for a single owner at a tennis swim club. I worked for an alumni association at an alumni faculty club. I've worked for Equity City Club and country clubs. Currently, I oversee a member-owned golf club and residential community. My varied history in the profession helps me to understand the challenges all CMAA members face, and I understand those challenges. We as an organization have progressed immeasurably since my first conference in 1984. Our educational opportunities now span 30 weeks of the year. The recent success of our web seminars, focusing on these tough economic times, is a clear indication of how quickly the CMAA staff adapts and how quickly the membership embraces innovation. These innovations must continue. It is also vital for us to continue building our relationships with our allied associations to further strengthen our industry. My involvement with many of these associations has given me the opportunity to get to know and work with the leaders, such as Joe Steranka of the PGA of America, Mark Woodward of GCSAA, and Steve Mona of the World Golf Foundation. This past November, I was approximately one of 300 golf industry executives invited to attend Golf 2020. I clearly have the background and the insight to continue fostering these important relationships. But my most important relationship is the one that I have with you, our CMAA members. My goal is to be certain that each and every one of you sees the value in belonging to our organization. We are now at a turning point. Many managers could not attend conferences this year as they endeavor to keep their clubs surviving in a tough economy. Many managers are struggling for their own futures. We must continue to provide innovations to make sure that all of you have the things you need and the tools you do to keep your jobs. I'm committed to the future of CMAA, and I'm determined to do my best for you. I'm Kevin Carroll, and I'm asking for your vote for Secretary-Treasurer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.